Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Play Some Video Games, the only gaming podcast that even though we're through Thanksgiving, we're still bringing you 3 more turkeys. Turkey number 1, it is I, your host, Kevin, with me this week, most of the time. Donnie, sir, how we doing?
Greetings, Gooblings.
He's tired. And turkey number 3 this week, Tyler returns.
Yeah, funny you should say that. When I was in a speech improvement class or whatever the heck it was called, they assigned us each an animal. I was Tyler the turkey, so I feel right at home here.
Then that works for you. That works for you. Well, thank you, everybody, for spending a little bit of time with us each and every week or virtually each and every day at this point through the PSVG Podcast Network. We appreciate you and hope you're spreading the word and telling a good friend. Let's see. Let's dive right in, guys. So what have you been up to since the last time we met? Let's go with Tyler first. What have you been playing, buddy?
Oh, boy, I'm going first. We talked quite a bit about this. Actually, no, I haven't talked anything about it. Battle Chef Brigade, baby.
Yeah, buddy.
I am so addicted to that game. Like, I've been looking to put time out of my life to stream it, and it's like, I got life stuff to do. I need to do it, but it's like, it's Battle Chef Brigade. It's been so long since I've been so addicted to the idea of streaming a game, and I'm at a point in the game where, it's not really like killing stuff and doing all sorts of stuff like that. It's like there's sad story going on, turmoil and drama. I'm sure it's, intended. But beyond that, I've been playing some Earthbound for a certain podcast you and I have been doing. And then I had a friend that decided that he wanted me to pull out the Wii U from its crypt and pop in Super Smash Brothers, which he was like, I'm totally going to beat you in this game. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And I was hoping he was right, but he was like, how do I do this attack? I don't know how to play Mewtwo. I'm like, that's okay. I'll show you.
Who's your go-to character?
Usually Ike.
Okay.
The problem is, though, he's very mobile and he has some very powerful smash attacks, some range, but overall he's just not that competitive a character. So when I get competitive, I switch to Sheik.
There you go.
And it's nice. Back in the day, it used to be Zelda and Sheik. You'd change and transform between the two, but now you got to pick. And Sheik's my girl. Well, guy, I don't know.
Did you just assume her gender?
I know. That was my fault. Sorry. 1998, people.
We just lost all of our millennial listeners. Good job.
Yep.
One comment just blew it.
I'm drinking water. Lattes for fools. We just lost the rest of them.
All right, well, I too have been playing Battle Chef Brigade. I think it's a little obvious if you guys listened. I don't know, done a couple things on Battle Chef Brigade. So yeah, still playing it though. So like I'm past the review period and I'm still playing it. So it just goes to say how great of a game it was. And it just was something that I was initially interested in simply because of the art style. And I'm like, hey, this is Iron Chef. And it turned into like, this game is really freaking cool. Like, I did not expect it to be what it was, and I'm so happy it is.
Right?
And I'm glad you're enjoying it too. And I'm waiting to hear Jason and Lucas will be playing it as well too. So I'm waiting to hear what they say if they feel the same way. So
game of the year, throw that in your pot and cook it.
But yeah, so having fun with that. So I encourage you guys, if you have a Switch, $20, pick it up. It's definitely worth it. Hands down, one of the best, if not the best indie game I've played all year. So I'll throw that out there. The big Splatoon update hit, so I've been actually dove back in when they announced the update before we even got it. I've been playing it every day for at least an hour or two since then. Played the new supermarket stage today. That's pretty awesome. I love that stage. That's a great little giveaway there. I love that one. Been playing Injustice 2 again too because Hellboy released, so still playing that at least a couple times a week. Still loving that. I know a lot more people picked it up for Black Friday. There was some good deals, so. Remember, you can join our community on there. We have a guild, I guess you can call it, for Injustice 2. So join up with that. We all get bonuses when we play. And then lastly, also for a review, as if you're a regular listener, Nathan and I have been covering the Batman Telltale series game, and the newest episode 3, has dropped. I played about an hour of it, I think, this morning. I streamed it, actually, so you can check that out. early impressions, this one's good. Like that third episode hook that Telltale likes to do, and kind of rides the wave until the end of the season. But yeah, so far so good. So digging that, and Nathan and I will hopefully get some time to review that before he's a dad officially. So that's what we're kind of hoping is we can get that done and out the door before then. But that's kind of it for me. Donnie, what have you been playing?
Wow, you guys get in and out of that.
Giggity?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
I learned my line of cooking. It's got to be fast and quick. Just one mix, run.
Nice. I playing Wolfenstein 2 still. I mentioned some of it in the Discord. I'm happy that Jace plays games. Our friend Jace on Twitter. I saw him kind of say something similar to what I was thinking, and it made me feel better about myself because I find the game really hard. Not like Dark Souls hard, right? It's not like it's beating me and punishing me over and over again. It's not that hard. But it's like replay the level 5 or 6 times before I get through it hard.
Really?
It's kind of grinding. I'm just like, man, I haven't dropped the difficulty yet because I want to beat it on normal.
Right.
But I might. I know Jace took it back. And then, Devs likes to make fun of me because I just don't go for headshots all the time in Destiny. So Devin was like, you got to go for headshots. And I was like, I'm telling you, I don't know. Maybe I'm not good. I was like, but I don't think that's the thing. And then, Kyle jumps in. He goes, no, Donnie, you're not crazy. He's like, it actually is pretty.
I thought he was going to say, no, Donnie, you're not good.
No, Donnie, you're awful. But no, he said it's a difficult game. There was one instance where, man, I probably spent almost an hour in this one like save load state where it kept loading me into a situation that I guess I got myself into where I had enemies coming in from all directions, and it just didn't matter how much I tried. Like I just couldn't get out of it. Like I didn't have my best weapon was out of ammo when I started, so I had to go back and restore a save from before that to kind of get through it. And I did get through it, but it's just not. I don't know. The story is so good. It's not what I want to do. Like I want to get, I want to Call of Duty it. I want to keep moving forward so I can keep finding my way through, not like being challenged to death. So I was happy to see that I'm not the only person that thinks it's really challenging.
Now, did you play the last two, the New Order and the Old Blood?
I beat the New Order. I didn't beat the Old Blood. I played it for maybe an hour or two, and I just moved on to other things.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because it's been a while since I played it, but when I played the New Order, I didn't really have a hard time until like the very end. I think it was the one that I had to go through and play over and over again. So I'm just wondering if it's the same level of difficulty or this one actually just legitimately is harder than the previous one. I mean, I'll know soon enough, but we'll get to that later on in a question.
My first live stream at the very end, I streamed my first 2 hours with the game. I think it was 2 hours. The last 20 minutes of me trying to beat a level over and over and over and over and over again. I probably tried it 10 or 12 times.
Ouch.
It's one of those things where I feel like the enemies can take a lot more damage than the player, can.
Sure.
Like they're definitely like bullet sponges. And then like it's fine until like my problem is I'm good until I run out of ammo. Not like out like Resident Evil out and I have to reload. Like if I'm anywhere where I have to reload, I just get shot and die. So like I have to like run away and hide to reload. So I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'm not very good. I don't know. Playing Life is Strange Before the Storm. Streamed the first episode of that. I saw that you came in and mentioned it's a slow burn. It's definitely a slow game. Chloe's there, which is cool. If anybody played there, you plays Chloe and
Chloe,
Rachel Amber. Like you're kind of investigating that whole little prequel, and it's the whole point of the game, which is neat. It's really, I wouldn't say call it boring, but fans of the series wouldn't think it's boring. Like anybody that played the first one liked it. You wouldn't think it was boring, but it's slow. It's a slow drag. That first episode and it's a meaty episode too. It's not like a Telltale episode. I think it's like 2.5 hours just to get to the first episode. If every episode's like that, I'm going to be 7, 8, 10 hours into this game. So I enjoyed that. I'll keep playing it, but it was kind of a slow grind.
Now, as somebody who hasn't played this game yet, I played quite a bit of Life is Strange, and I'm really hung up on the idea of no core time traveling mechanic. Is that going to mess me up for this?
I don't know.
Like, I really love it, and I mean, is there something else to replace it?
I was saying like that's the weird thing is I really didn't. Like I enjoyed Life is Strange more before all the superhero actiony time travel mechanics and stuff got involved. I liked it when it was just kind of a 90s, angsty teenager riff. I kind of wanted it to stay there. And then like once it started going into all the supernatural and all that, I was like, I don't need to keep doing this, because for me it felt choresome to like keep replaying it. Like you rewind time, go back through it, and do it again. I was like, I'd be happy to live with the decisions I made the first time. Imagine if you did that in like a Telltale Batman.
Oh God,
go and make a bunch of decisions and you just rewind and do it all again. So for me, I haven't encountered any of that yet. So my first 2.5 hours of the game, no time travel at all, no like weird supernatural nothing. That
I guess it makes sense that there isn't any in the prequel before she gets the ability. Otherwise, she'd
you're
be
not
like,
Max.
what the heck?
I mean, you don't play with Max. Yeah, so you're playing as Chloe. Or at least I am so far. There's no Max. Now Max is everywhere. Like she's in her diary, she's in her thoughts. She's constantly talking about Max, but Max is not a character. So I would imagine it's not going to be a thing. If you're not going to play as Max, then you shouldn't be able to rewind time, right?
Fair enough.
So I think for that, I think I'm enjoying it a little more. I just wish what you were doing had seemed like it had more meaning. Like that first episode, just kind of hanging out. Like it's really just kind of like a friend session. You catch a train, you go see a band, like you pop a viewfinder. Like, yeah, it's very just unimportant. Nothing's really going on. Did play a little Dungeons and Dragons in the game, so that was
cool.
There you go. A little spoilers for you. You can go do that. So that's like
you save him or let him die.
I played Assassin's Creed Origins, but like only for like 45 minutes. Like I booted it up because I wanted to play something that wasn't Wolfenstein 2. Like I was like, all right, I need to stop doing this for a minute. And I did that. It was interesting. The only thing the reason I put it on here is I noticed that my first 2 or 3 cutscenes I encountered in that 45 minutes were choppy as could be.
Really?
Which is not what I want to see on my brand new piece of hardware, my brand new TV. Like it just and it was just the cutscenes. In game, fine, smooth, butter, great. Cutscenes, just choppy mess. It looked like it was running at like 10 frames a second. It's just it was extremely noticeable. It bothered me to pieces. Which is, coming from Wolfenstein 2, which runs so superbly beautiful. Like it's so smooth and solid the entire time. It's almost made it worse. And then the last game that I put on the list was do we have lag? No? Okay. The last thing that I put on the list was 9 Parchments, which is the follow-up from the Trine folks. It's very Trine-ish. There's a demo out there on the Nintendo Switch. I was real excited about this when they showed it in the Nintendo Direct because it was like Trine but multiplayer. Somebody that beat Trine 2 playing co-op multiplayer with a friend of mine. I was thinking that maybe we could get PSVG to kind of do this. I was like, this is going to be pretty neat. Trine was awesome. This game doesn't look as good as Trine in a lot of ways. It looks like a mobile game. Plays like a mobile game. Didn't really enjoy much of the demo. I think I'll be a hard pass on it, to be honest with you.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry to hear that. Jeez.
Yeah. You just kind of have like a little spell wheel, goes in circles. I'm sure it's just a demo. I'm sure it gets more than that, but it's top down, not like side scrolling. Like the
yeah, it looks like Diablo 3 kind of.
Yeah, and the spells that I had access to like weren't any like as imaginative as they were on Wii U, and like when I played the Trine 2. So it's just kind of like a top down, run around and shoot the enemies with your spell stuff. And yeah, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can. I didn't get to test out any of the multiplayer stuff because there's none of that in the demo, or at least that I couldn't find.
Right, probably not.
I tried to sync up with anybody like online, and just throws me into a single player game. So maybe there's more to it if you get more players in. I don't know. I'd be interested to check out reviews in that case. But from when I played, I was like, oh, I've got a lot of things I can play right now. So
fair enough.
Yeah, that's it for me.
All right. Well, then let's jump in. So tonight we're going to kind of see how it goes. We have a lot of messages. We tweeted out, asked you to fill up the mailbag, and you guys succeeded. So we're going to kind of just tackle the mailbag. And if there's time for some news, we have a couple things, but ultimately nothing that, earth shattering being Thanksgiving week. So let's just jump right in, guys. And it's time to check out the messages.
Message for you, son.
Our first one comes from Jonathan. We'll start with the light one. Favorite Christmas movies and favorite Christmas songs. Tyler, why don't you go first?
I'm going to go for a song first. My favorite Christmas song is the one that's played on December 23rd to 25th. Nothing sooner than that. I'm just holding straight on that. Anyways, favorite Christmas movie would be National Lampoon's Winter Vacation. Or is it Winter or Christmas Vacation?
Christmas Vacation.
Okay, Christmas Vacation. And man, I love that movie ever since I was a kid. Watch it every single year.
So I'm a Christmas nut. That's kind of the joke in Discord. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to give you a couple answers, but it's funny you should say it, Tyler, because right for this podcast, I was watching National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So watched the whole thing right before the podcast. But so my favorite Christmas movies, National Lampoon's for sure, Home Alone, Elf, and then I got to go with the classic A Christmas Story. And I will just leave it on TV all during that TBS stream where they stream it for 24 hours straight. Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, I just leave it on. I don't care. Love it. Favorite Christmas songs. I don't have a specific song, but I really like, I don't know if you guys have heard Straight No Chaser. They're like an acapella group, but they did the 12 Days of Christmas. They did a version on their own, and it's hilarious and amazing at the same time. So check them out. Straight No Chaser, 12 Days of Christmas. But they do a whole bunch of stuff. And then when it's a little more upbeat, the Brian Setzer Orchestra does a bunch of Christmas songs. It's kind of like swing music, but they do the Christmas carols. Love that as well, too. It's a little bit of rockabilly going on. So those are my favorites. Donnie?
Christmas Story. Yeah, I mean, just the classic one is always my favorite. It's filmed in Cleveland.
I never was able to get into that movie. I don't know why. It just never appealed to me.
Ah, so good.
I know. I'm boring, I guess. Take for what you will.
I think I'm boring for picking the one that most people I think would say.
I mean, out of boring Christmas movies, I think I at least picked like the top 5. So I'm in there. Don't get me wrong.
Well, no, you got like the most boring Christmas movie, Charlie Brown. Let's be honest. Okay. That's a classic, but it's the most boring one that even as a kid, you're like, man, I don't want to watch this cartoon. Like, it's that bad.
Yep. I've always enjoyed that one. And then any of the classics, any of the claymation, animation stuff, any of that stuff is all good. Christmas music, I've got a bunch of stuff, but I always go back to like the classics. So anything from Bing Crosby or
yes, those are great.
Yeah, anything like that. Nat King Cole, anything in that realm, I'm always down for. I'm particularly favorite of like Holiday Inn from Bing Crosby, which is my Christmas playlist. I don't necessarily even know if it's a Christmas song, just from the movie. So, but I always play at Christmas. So,
I think I go with Holiday Inn, like the rap song.
No, not that one.
I'm chilling at the Holiday Inn. Anyway, all right. So next question comes from Chowfie at that Chowfie. Why aren't digital games discounted as much as physical versions?
That's easy. Isn't that like common sense stuff? Well, let's say hypothetically, we know the answer, but some people don't. Space, mostly, usually. If everybody never discounted their games and kept them at $60, hey, no one would buy every single one, and it would just take up so much space that would just be ridiculous. I guess that's my view on it anyways. I guess it makes sense that since it's the developers that control the price on most of those online stores, they don't really have to change the price as much unless they're really desperate for money, which is why you see a lot of it on Steam. People drop the price like crazy. What do you guys think?
I mean, you nailed it. So from my extensive retail background, the biggest thing why physical games get discounted is they just got too many, or they overbought or something. They got to move that product because that shelf space, you walk into Best Buy, you have that, 10-foot section of Nintendo Switch games. That 10-foot space is never going to get any larger, but yet more and more games are going to come out. So you have to have some way of going through the product and doing it. Plus, it's also a great way to get people in the door when you look at things like Black Friday, where I'm going to put these, 10 games for $15. It gets people in the door, and they're hoping that you're not just going in and grabbing those 10 games and nothing else. But that's the real reason. And yeah, you see Steam and they fire sale everything all the time and just drops so quickly. But in the retail space, it's more just they got to get rid of stuff. They can't keep as much as they bought in. Nintendo might overpurchase Assassin's Creed. Not Nintendo, Best Buy might overpurchase Assassin's Creed, have too much left over. Next thing you know, it's on sale for like 4 weeks in a row for $30. That's the reason why they got to move some of those units.
Right. A lot of people think that GameStop can just like magically return any extra copies that they get for full credit. And it's like,
No.
mom and pop stops have stopped doing that video game culture in, I think, the late 80s. I mean, there was a point where they were doing that because they were desperate for the video game to survive, but no, not anymore. That's another thing.
No, it's not that way at all. I mean, we Dev and I have talked about it a few times too. Like the Best Buy mentality is the weirdest thing, and Josh remembers it too. Was when the manager had to go through the at-risk report. So basically, it was the stuff that we were actually losing money by keeping it in the building. If video games were on there was an assistant manager who would just go, okay, every game that's currently selling for right now on this report that's $60 will be $10, and anything like 30 below will be $5, and just put them in this dump bin and get them out of here, kind of deal. Like, so they just took the hit, get them off things, so they don't get the chargeback, because you can't get money back from the sellers initially. So that's just kind of how it is. Donnie, any different perspective or point of view on it?
No, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, in the digital marketplace, you got to think the developer's trying to make the most money possible. They want to offer a discount, but they're still trying to make the most money possible. So also they're probably charging for convenience there. They think if they can get close, if they can be ballpark with its physical counterpart, that they'll probably be a thing. Like when digital was coming up, there was always like the theory or postulation that, like they couldn't undercut physical, or the physical folks would, threaten not to carry their games or anything like that. I don't think that's really the case anymore with the rise of digital. But I would say, I also think in terms of the brick and mortar stores, there's a value of getting people in the door. Mm-hmm. Like dropping a Wolfenstein 2, like, down to 20, and when it's digitally 30, there's a value to them getting you to come into the store, and the chance that you might pick up a game or 2 or 3 or an amiibo or an MP3 player or a DVD. They have certain door busters designed just to get you in, where they can then hit you with all their promotions and marketing while you're there. That the digital storefront didn't happen. I don't know about you guys, but typically when I go onto the digital store, I don't sit there and just scroll through stuff. Like, I usually go there with a purpose. I have a wish list or something, and I'm there to find 4 or 5 games in particular and get in and get out. So
right. I'm still waiting for Fatal Frame 3 for the Wii U, the drop in price. Still not going to happen, man. Still not going to happen.
Nope, they're gonna shut down that store before you see a price drop in that. Sorry, bro.
That's all right, man.
All right, so the next question, still on the pricing of video games. Dante's Belmont from Burn on Twitter, is $60 still a fair price for a video game? If there was a hike, how much would you pay for a complete game, a vanilla base game, and for DLC? How much are you willing to pay to get rid of microtransactions? Our thoughts. Donnie, why don't you go first?
60. Oh, it's a really good question, because I can honestly, I can like ride the fence, and I can make two arguments. I mean, the first argument is that the price in developing of games has gone up. Therefore, you would think that the price of buying the product should go up too, and that makes logical sense when you're staring at it from afar. The opposite argument to make there is that the gaming market as an industry is also bigger than it's ever been before. So there's more room. You're selling more units than you've ever sold before. That's why there's so many more games now, because there's so many people trying to get a piece of the pie. That could justify actually keeping the cost of the game down. Like, it's such a competitive market. Obviously it's not like EA isn't making money. Like, that's the thing. And the point that I would have with this question is, the thing that I think often gets missed is that we just take publishers at like face value. There's no like intermediate third, non-biased party that tells us how much it costs to actually make a game. What we're getting is the publisher saying, it cost us X amount of investment to make this game, and we just take it. We don't necessarily know exactly how they're quantifying, that number. Like, the thing that I always think about is, like, didn't Xbox say it cost them like some ridiculous amount of money to think up and design the Xbox One controller? Then they throw out like some crazy number. It costs like $5 million to spec the controller. Like, I'm sure if you sit down and calculated every mold that you ever did, and every person's time and every hour that ever went into it, maybe you could get to that number, but it sounds stretched. Like, I'm like, well, and maybe you did spend that money. Maybe you shouldn't have. Maybe you shouldn't have invested $5 million into.
Oh man, here comes the shade. Loving it.
Basically the same amount, the same controller that you had before. It's a little wider, but it's more or less the same gamepad. It's got the same button, same stick, same layout, same trigger. So on two ends there, like there's a lot there that's in between. And I don't necessarily think we should be taking publishers, especially like these gigantic publishers, like this. I can only imagine that this question's stemming from like that Star Wars Battlefront Fallout. You think about like the EA is making hundreds of millions of dollars. Are we seriously going to sit here and go, they really need to make more money? You know what the problem with the games industry is? The EA just not making enough money. Like, I think that's a little scary to go down that path. Like, I don't think we should be marks for publishers that much to where we just look at them and go, well, they're spending so much more today. It's like, yeah, but they're also making so much more today. They've never had a market like this today. So
no, it's true. And I mean, I'm cheap, so I don't want it to go higher than $60. Now, there are plenty of instances where I have. Injustice 2, the deluxe edition, I paid, I believe it was $90 retail. I got it a little bit cheaper than that from Amazon Prime, but I paid so that I wouldn't have to deal with microtransactions or DLC. The DLC was included, so it was basically like the game, your season pass. It was all there. So I just paid up front in one thing instead of buying the game for $60, buying the season pass later on, or buying the characters for like $4 or $5 a piece. I just bought it outright, and I was fine with that. Games like Destiny, that's another one where people know like the vanilla experience only has so much content. What you're really going to want is all the stuff coming on down the line, so you might as well buy the deluxe version for $80 or $90 and get all your stuff there too. I don't mind those as much as the microtransactions games. Like, those kind of drive me a little bit nuts. If they just put in a game, so let's say they did Battlefront 2, and they got rid of all microtransactions for real and not this whole little ruse they're doing now, and said, okay, guys, you can get this version of the game, no microtransactions, and it's $100. The game would still sell like nuts. Why? Because it's Star Wars. Like, hello, it's going to make money. That's like Disney putting out an animated film saying, oh, I hope this one makes us some money. It's going to, even if it's a terrible movie, because it's Disney. So, yes, people may be burned by Star Wars Battlefront franchise, but because it's Star Wars, no matter what, you're going to sell. Now, can you sell above and beyond? Sure. If it was a better game, then that makes sense. But in this instance, like, just charge us more, or give an option of, here's the, vanilla version of Battlefront 2, and it's $60, and you can buy additional content, or for $100, you just get the whole game and have fun. Go nuts. Tussle your hair and get out of here, kids. Go play. Go be Luke Skywalker. Go be Darth Vader. Don't have to be, ask your mom for your mom's credit card and go and play. But that's kind of my thoughts. Like, I really don't want games to go higher than $60. I don't think there's a need for it to be honest. Like Donnie mentioned, they're making more money now than they were before. But yeah, if they want to get rid of microtransactions, if it's a good game and I know up front that there's not going to be anything else thrown at me, then yeah, I got to charge $80, $90. I may not buy many of those games, but if I know up front that nothing else is coming down the line as an added expense, I'm more apt to make that jump if I really, really want to play something. Tyler, your thoughts, sir?
It's just weird because this is before my time as a video gamer, but back in the day, I believe like Super Nintendo, Nintendo days, the price of the game was actually around $80.
Yeah, Earthbound. So as you mentioned earlier, Earthbound, the edition, I think it was $79.99 when I purchased Earthbound on the cartridge.
Of course, the price of the dollar has dropped over time thanks to the inflation. So I can only imagine how much that price would actually be if we were to compare it to today. With that in retrospect, it does seem weird that $60 is still the hard cap preferred price for market retail value. At the same time, there's also some good games out there like Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. That's an excellent, should be worth $60 games, but it's only worth $30. And I'm staring at Donnie at this point. That it's totally worth its price. And I guess the point of what I'm trying to say is I really think that there's a hard cap to how much a publisher and a developer needs to put into a certain amount of game to where they're going to make sweet profits at $60. And EA, in that example, they put more than that, and they know that. And in order to keep their profit margin and invest big to make big, they take a little extra step in a certain direction. I'm not saying it's a good step, but it's a step. Kind of like how Clash of Clans likes to pump 80% of their profits into peer advertisement and CG things, and well, they know how to make it back. Unfortunately,
that's true. They've done it. All right, so let's jump on to now some additional questions. We got this one a few times from a few different people. So P. Calico sent in Trash Turkey, sent in different variations. But the biggest thing is basically, guys, what did we pick up on Black Friday, or what's our stories? game systems or otherwise. Let's throw it in there. I'll just combine everyone's questions. So, Tyler, did you go out and do any Black Friday shopping either in person or digitally? And if so, what did you get? Tell us about it.
Absolutely nothing. No, I didn't buy a single darn thing. I had my one of my best friends whose fiance was going out to do that crazy shopping, and he was like, you know what? It's 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning. Let's meet up and play Super Smash Brothers. And, you know, by God, that's exactly what we did. And then we watched and heard, you know, terrible stories of the masses doing horrible things to each other. And then I watched Justice League. That's pretty much it. So I know.
I'm sorry.
I got thoughts about that, but this is a video game podcast, not a bad movies podcast. Whoop! Did I let that one slip? My bad.
Whoops! Spoilers, guys. It's not good. Anyway, Donnie, what about you and your purchasing, either digitally or in person? What'd you
do? Yeah, I did a lot. I did not go out and attempt to fight the masses early in the morning or overnight or anything like that. But, you know, I bought some online stuff, which I already told everybody, spent all my credits on digital games. I did get a new TV. Got it off of eBay, some seller that had crazy amounts of good feedback and all that, so I felt good about it. I ended up getting a shipping confirmation from a custom carrier. The tracking number didn't go anywhere for like 4 or 5 days, so I started to get real concerned. So I ended up calling them. They're like, yeah, we use a different company. They send me some company I've never heard of before. And it finally arrives in Atlanta, and I call them, and they're like, so it's like it was like a courier thing. So they would set up an appointment for me to come drop it off. So they said, anytime, you know, Monday through Friday between 12 and 5 o'clock, we can drop it off. And I was like, well, none of those times work for me because I have to work. So I actually picked it up from their store. Like I went after work from their warehouse. It's funny because I'd never heard of this company before. When I talked to my wife, she was like, yeah, I've never heard of it either. So I thought, I was like, oh man, I done got into some, you know, some lowbrow, you know, shady backdoor stuff. No, they have this gigantic factory full of TVs, thousands of televisions. They're like, oh yeah, every fall, this is what we do. So I ended up getting, I got a TV. It was like super cheap and it works great for at least the week that I've had it or so. I picked it up. It works fantastic, just like it did. So I was excited about that purchase. When it comes to systems and games though, I bought 3 360s. That new gen. Getting in on the I bought 3 Xbox 360s.
You bought a 1080?
I did buy a 1080. That's nice.
Yeah.
They were doing GameStop was doing a buy 2 get 1 free sale on anything that was pre-owned, systems, hardware, anything. And so I started looking at their store, and I was like, wait a second, they're selling 360s for like $70 each. And I had like coupons and credit and promotional codes, you know, like the Power Up Rewards credit that just gets stashed or way on forever. So I grabbed that and I just threw that into the pot. So I ended up, you know, I think I spent, I don't know, $110 for 3 Xbox 360s, something like that when it was all said and done. So I replaced the Wii's in my kids' room with those, and then we packed one up to send to the nieces and nephews for Christmas. And then I started buying a bunch of old Xbox 360 games just to pad out the library for everybody. So, you know, Peggle and Brothers and things like that. So it was fun. Good little time. And now we've got 360s or ones or Switches or PS4s. Now we've kind of upgraded our lowest common denominator around the house. Now everybody's kind of moved up a level. So
and those Vitas are a permanent coaster now. You just put your beer on top of it.
Heck, I had one holding up my door at one point.
See, I would have bought, so you said it's buy 2 get 1 free with anything pre-owned?
Anything pre-owned, anything.
Why didn't you buy 3 Coach Mo's then?
3 Coach Mo's?
Yeah. He's pre-owned by GameStop, right?
Pre-owned
accounts.
I guess. I don't think there's only one though. You can't buy 3 of them. You wouldn't have got the second one for free. And they were doing any of their $4.99 games. So if anything that was $4.99 or less, you could buy 4 of them for $10. So you didn't end up getting them for like $2.50 and with free shipping. So I ended up buying like 10 games for like $20. It's just like crazy.
Nice.
I just kept buying stuff like that, and then just that type of stuff. And it also, I think it doubled with the buy 2 get 1. So that's why it was 10 and not 8. So you do 4 for right. 10, but you'd buy 2 get 1. So I ended up getting 1 for free. It was just crazy, just stacking all kind. I was basically relieving GameStop of their of their dead weight stuff they've been trying to get out of the shop for a while.
You're a good person, Donnie. You're a good person.
So,
all right, let's get to me. I have some stories. So, I cracked open the wallet. Some little moths and stuff flew out of it when PlayStation dropped their digital sale. So I will say, though, I did have some PlayStation credit that I've been hoarding, so I didn't have to spend that much money. But Bethesda basically just stole all my money. I purchased Dishonored 2, Dishonored Death of the Outsider, Prey, Wolfenstein 2, and they're all sitting there waiting for me to finally get around to them. So Wolfenstein 2 will be the first one just because I need to play it. And a lot of people say it's a contender for a possible game of the year. So I want to evaluate that prior to it. Because I don't think the others will be anything. I'm sure I'll have fun with all the other ones, but I don't think any of them are going to be game of the year for me. But Wolfenstein 2 maybe. So I'm going to dive into that one first. As far as getting out there for Black Friday, I did. Since I left retail, I've kind of done it every year only because having worked in retail for so long and probably one of the most, well, not most, but worst places to work for Black Friday being Best Buy for all those years, I learned a thing or two on how to navigate through Black Friday. So every year I kind of go out with a list of, some very specific things that I want. And I'm generally in and out of those buildings so quick that it doesn't factor in for me. So I got up at 4 a.m.
Oh, wow.
Well, because in Rhode Island, they don't do midnights. They can't be open on Thanksgiving. There's blue laws, they call them, in Massachusetts and Rhode Island. So they can't open prior to 6 in most places. So I can't say what I bought because people may be watching that these items are for, but I was basically able to get in and out of Target and 2 other stores and be back in my bed by 6:30 a.m. So, and I got everything I wanted and a few additional things just because I'm a ninja at it and I get in and out. So my future brother-in-law messaged me halfway through the day. He's like, hey, did you get what you wanted to? Because we talked about it on Thanksgiving. I said, yeah. He goes, man, what time did you go and wait out in line? I said, no, I got there a little bit before it opened and I was in and out and I went to here and here and here and got all these things. And he's like, you did? I was like, yeah. And I spent under $200 and got everything I needed. So it was just, ninja skills there. So now next year he wants to join me and he wants to learn my ways. But yeah, it's all about strategy, going in with what you want, knowing where it's going to be, and just kind of navigating in and out of those things for me. So I kind of enjoy it, but I don't make a big deal about it. I don't camp out. I get in and out, and I've, last 3 years, knock on wood.
You truly are an early bird ninja, sensei.
Yeah, I've been able to get in and out and get what I wanted. I've not left disappointed, not once. Although I will say the one thing I was disappointed, I don't know why this is the case. Resident Evil 7 was on sale.
Oh, 4. Good job.
Yeah,
nice.
4.
That's a good catch.
That's a good one. But so Resident Evil 7 was on sale at Target for $15.
Nice.
Here's the thing I don't understand, and Target employees didn't understand. They only carry the Xbox version of this game now. They physically not carry it on PS4, so I was not able to get it.
That seems crazy.
In store and online, like nothing. Because my wife even went to Target later in the day, normal people do, normal time of the day, just to grab a couple of things not related to Black Friday at all. And I was like, hey, when you go in there, just ask if this store that you're going to happens to have them. And they didn't. And they said they actually don't carry it on PS4. You look on the Target website, it does not show up on PS4. So I don't know what the heck happened, but it just, I don't know. So I missed out on that one. That's the one thing I wanted this year that I was not able to scoop up on Black Friday sales.
I would have thought it was a hot ticket item, maybe to come not packaged, but to go hand in hand with all the hot VR sales that are going out. But
right, it wasn't that they were sold out. It was we don't carry it anymore. And to me, it just didn't make any sense how something that was it's less than a year old at this point. A lot of people liked it. It was heavily featured in a lot of different places Black Friday sales, but Target had the best price. So I was going to go with that, and so. I'll just wait until it's like $20 used in store, and I'll pick it up at GameStop or something at that point. So I have plenty to play. It's not a big deal, but I just was a little like, that's weird. All right, so moving on. Next question comes from Skinny Matt. Why are people upset that the Switch wasn't on sale for Black Friday? The system is in high demand, and there's no need for it to be discounted.
This happened when I was at GameStop.
Really?
Yeah, the guy walked right in with his son, and they were looking at the Switch, and he was like, tell me about this Switch thing, and the GameStop employee. And I was just, normally 2 years ago, I would have butted into that conversation, and I just sat there and I just sat and listened. And,
I can see it too.
Yeah, he goes, so does it, what's the deal on it? what games does it come with? Guy at the GameStop counter had to look at me. He was like, there is no deal. There are no games that come with it. He was like, why does anybody buy this thing? And I think it's just, the Pavlov response to Black Friday. People expect to be able to buy anything that they want this week cheaper than it should cost on the shelf. And Skinny Matt's right. It's the hot item. Nintendo doesn't have to discount it. That's why it's not discounted. I would say the Xbox had to discount the S.
Oh, totally.
They did.
They did.
Nintendo doesn't have to. They don't have to discount it. It'll sell just fine the way that it is. So,
yeah.
Heck,
Same thing where
Nintendo like the first. Go ahead.
No, you go. Yeah.
I was gonna say like first party games are like they hold stronger value than a lot of like bonds. Just with how much they stay at $60 forever.
It's crazy, man. Of your money.
That's what I was gonna say. Like that's why you didn't see a sale on Breath of the Wild. You didn't see a sale on Super Mario Odyssey. You didn't see a sale on Splatoon 2. Some of the third party stuff you saw some deals, and there were a couple really good ones. Rayman Legends was up there, really good price, and there were some nice ones. But as far as Nintendo having to discount something, they don't have to. They're going to sell millions, and it does not matter at all. Like
I didn't see a deal in Kingdom Battle either, and that's a Ubisoft game. But starring Mario, I'd imagine.
No, it did. It did. Amazon. It went up yesterday, and it was $29 for Prime users. So that was a good deal if you didn't have it already. But that's the only place I did see it. So you're right. It still was not for everybody who was going to grab that one. But yeah, I mean, it's basically all it is. Like for the fact people getting upset about it, it's kind of just ridiculous because there's no need. They don't have to knock it down at all. Like it's going to sell. They can't keep it in store. Well, I mean, I see Switches now pretty regularly, but as far as I understand, it still doesn't stay in stock very long. It's just in and out. It's just a better flow of product coming in. So they really don't need to discount because they have them and you can get them, but you're going to pay the price for it.
In this particular case, just my little sample, the guy did buy an Xbox One S because of that. He was just like, this is so much more money, and why isn't it discounted? And it doesn't come with any games, so he just went with the other thing and bought that and walked out. So maybe
so sad, man. So sad.
What do you mean? He can enjoy all those great first-party titles on. Oh, yeah. But hey, it was cheaper than a Switch. So
my GameStop folks said that their number one seller, because I always ask, they said that their number one seller that morning was the $199 PS4.
Really? Over this?
Yeah.
Wow.
They were like, that's our number one unit this morning. Because apparently they were giving, it was like $199 with a game and a $50 gift card for $199. And I think it was a 1 terabyte Slim, I think.
Yeah, the 1 terabyte Slim was the one.
That was.
Yeah.
They're like, we sold out. We don't have any more. They're gone.
Wow. I really thought the Xbox. So I will say one of the places I did stop on my Black Friday thing was Kohl's. And they had that $189 Xbox that we saw. And you got $45 in Kohl's cash, which is basically a gift card.
It's insane.
And there was a stack of them. Now, mind you, I got there. So they did open at midnight or 1 a.m. in their location. I didn't hit up there until like 5:30, 6 o'clock. And I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. They had at least 100 of them.
Wow.
Like just sitting on the floor. Like they didn't lock out. They were just bulk stacked in the aisle. And I'm like, I really did not think you'd be able to see those things in Kohl's at all. I figured that was going to be in and out. They were going to be sold out real quick kind of deal. And they were there. But I fully anticipate once we start hearing some sales numbers, if I were betting, I was going to say Xbox One S sold the most units during.
I would too. I think that's smart. Yeah. I mean, there's a part of me that would say that I'd never go to Kohl's to buy video games.
No,
like I'm all for like saving money, but it's a weird fit. It's like, hey, Kohl's has a deal, and it's like, what? They find them on a truck somewhere or something? Like, why is Kohl's selling Xboxes all of a sudden?
Well, they do sell video games, just nobody goes there to buy them.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
very weird. But yeah, they sell like Beats headphones now and stuff like that. My mom works at a Kohl's location. So yeah, when they first carried them, like that's kind of crazy. And when the Black Friday ads were first leaking out, they had the lowest price, and I was like, man, for Kohl's the number one to have them and advertise it, and then to be like the lowest one is nuts. But it is what it is. All right, so we'll move on then. So TJ asks, what bad games are you thankful for? Donnie.
Why do you hit me right off?
Because you were mid yawn, so I wanted to catch it.
Yeah, you got me there. Bad games. Have we ever talked about like our favorite bad games or bad games we don't like?
Very early on, like episode 2 or 3, we talked about games that weren't good that we loved.
I think I was really high on Mario Party Island Tour. I think I was higher on that than most people, and especially most other reviewers. I enjoyed it. Yeah, that's a game. It was the first Mario Party on 3DS. Right? Yep. And we reviewed it for the site, and I played it download play with my kids, and we walked through all the campaign, and we had a really good time. And then, other people didn't. Other people did not think it was as fun as I did. So I was like, ooh, maybe I'm not as good a reviewer as I want. Mario versus Donkey Kong Tipping Stars. Those little puzzlers where you draw the ramps and you do all the amiibo stuff. And I always really enjoyed those. I played it on the Wii U and the 3DS, and I thought it was really cool. And I was all about those games. I don't necessarily know if those are bad though, like bad games. Just not really like highly rated games.
Right.
That Call of Duty on the Vita. I remember a lot of people not liking that.
Ooh.
I liked it. I thought it was cool because it was like the first portable shooter, like real portable shooter I ever played. I was like, this is
actually,
sweet.
Resistance was on the Vita.
Okay.
That was the first one. I launched with it.
Neither one of them were as good as Killzone, but
Well, Kevin, your fedora's untipped.
Oh.
The one I always go to in this scenario. I really enjoyed that Civil War shooter on 360 PS3. It's like the History Channel Civil War, I think.
What?
And
Sure.
I remember when it came out, and I was like, this is cool, because I was always like a big history buff, and I thought it was neat that you could like, load the musket and go through all the stuff, because we haven't really had like a Civil War game.
I need to look this up. There's gonna be some Flux the Pose trademarked.
Do it.
Typing on this.
So that's the one that I think always sticks with me, because I was like, I like the game, it's fun, I beat it, and most people are like, this is terrible, it's not even worth playing, and I was like, it's totally worth playing, especially
Battle for the Pacific. Or no, there was a Civil War. Okay, yeah, Civil War.
And there's
missions.
I remember that Civil War.
Civil War secret missions. Oof.
I don't know if that was it either, but
No,
I mean,
showing up here,
if it is,
PS3 and Xbox.
there you go. There was a
there's
Civil
Battle
War
for
game.
the Pacific. There's Civil War. Yeah.
There was a Civil War game that I played, and I just remember thinking it was cool that there was a Civil War game, because it's not something we, I've seen Civil War like top down, like Age of Empire type stuff, but I've never seen like a Civil War like shooter, like first person shooter, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty cool. So
Did that one?
that could be it. I think that might be it.
That's the one I saw. Oh.
Oh.
All right, Tyler. What are your bad games that you love?
It just stinks, because it feels like if I say any game that I enjoyed but I consider it bad, it's just gonna dig up like controversy. I mean,
we know you're highly opposed to saying things controversial anyway. So I mean,
no, I am the same. Like a game that I would consider a bad game overall, but I really loved it. Maybe like Conker's Bad Fur Day. Like it was a great game to me, but at the same time, if you tried playing it now, even with updated graphics, like Live and Reloaded for the 360, it just doesn't hold up anymore. Like it was all movie tropes and poor platforming with some very innovative bosses, but it led to giving me some very interesting and wacky games, and that was actually a lot better than the other one I was going to pick, Final Fantasy VII.
oh man,
I can say Breath of the Wild, but then I'd just be pulling crap out of my. Oh! I saw how fast Daddy went from smile to like straight line.
Coach Mo just ordered you a side of cheese fries for that comment, though. So you won his favor, but angered the Nintendo god.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Let's see. For me, geez, I play so many bad games, but I love them. So
Jazz Punk.
I was gonna say Jazz Punk. Jazz Punk. If you haven't played Jazz Punk, check it out. I like it. It's fun. But no, so more mainstream ones people might know. There were games that weren't. They ended up becoming like cult favorites that I've always enjoyed right from the bat. Like Chibi Robo back on GameCube was a great game. I loved it. And now it's become something that's not that good with the follow-ups, but the original game was really good, and I'd love to see it ported over. Or like Katamari Damacy. Like the first one came out, people were like, what is this? It launched in the era of PS2. It launched at $20. It wasn't like it got discounted. No, this game came out at $20. I was working at Toys R Us. I looked at it and said, I need to play this game, and I bought it, and I was like, this is amazing. And they've made like, I don't know, 5 or 6 of those now since then, but I don't think anybody says like, hey, those are great games, but I have fun with them. So Jazz Punk, Katamari Damacy, and Chibi Robos, those are some of my favorite games that a lot of people don't appreciate, but I do. It's all good.
Sure.
Respectable.
Yeah. I would say Box Boy would fit in that mold, but there's no way Box Boy is a bad game.
I didn't see anybody review or say Box Boy was bad. I just know a lot of people that don't know Box Boy.
Yeah, Box Boy's amazing.
People that know it, I've heard only good things. So
all the way to the moon, baby. Got to make girl happy.
So, all right, next question. This one will be fun. Interested in your thoughts here. AJ wants to know what we think about the Game Awards, considering PUBG for Game of the Year. Tyler, you tackle this one first.
I guess at this point, when it comes to PUBG, I would be the pseudo expert of the three, wouldn't I?
Yes, sir.
I have the whole staff.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm gonna reference the number one PUBG streamer on Twitch TV .tv. His name is Dr. Disrespect.
I love him. I love him.
A very interesting, and he loves to drink, so me and him get along very quickly.
And he likes G Fuel, so just shouting that out.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, good job. Okay. He said very clearly that if this game got rewarded anything for even close to the game of the year, he would say this entire industry has gone to crap. He's obviously still playing it because he wants to keep making money off of his subscribers, but he's played so much of it that he's realizing that there's no replayability beyond the first 20 hours, and it's just a matter of you trying to get your kicks off by getting better than everybody else. And he says it's not addicting to him, it's not enjoyable to him, and the only reason why he's still playing is because he's heck good at it. He really likes his Lamborghini or whatever the heck he drives around,
and people want to see it.
Yeah, people want to see him do good. And playing it myself, I can see the appeal, but it's just the first 10 hours of innovative fighting, vicious fighting. They haven't done anything to add to it. They keep saying they will. They plan on doing it. There's talks about potential beta test servers, but that's not 2017 at this point. What we're seeing is the vanilla version of this game, which is technically not out because it's still in early access. Can we even consider it for a game of the year? I mean, we already know it's not going to be game of the year, but I'm sure for the PC players, it's going to be up there.
Yeah, I mean
Good.
I agree with you that it shouldn't be on there. It's not a game yet. That's the biggest thing to me. It's regardless of, hey, it's shallow or you get tired of it really easily. I mean, Twitch people love watching this game, and I've been guilty of it too. You just hop in streams oh, this person's playing this. Let's see what they do, and it's fun to watch. But it's not a game yet. It's not. They're not claiming it's a game yet. It's an early access only. There's not much to it as far as depth. But can you deny the fact that there are that many raging fans for this? I think to say, oh, we definitely know it's not going to be game of the year, I don't know that yet. I could see something stupid happening and them giving it to them. It's crazy because I don't know that there's been a phenomenon like this. I think that's more what it is. I don't think it's necessarily a good game or it deserves the award. I just think the phenomenon that it's become is bigger than what the product itself actually is. And I could see it being dumb enough to say, here's a game award, like when Mario Kart won best racing game.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing how,
great, but it's not a great racing game, so it's crazy to do that. But
it's amazing how applying the open world aspect to any genre in this game and suddenly turn it into one of the best games of its kind. I mean, let's be fair. Breath of the Wild. I feel like saying that it's like going back to the Nazis on a Wikipedia page or something. You always get back there somehow. Applying it to Zelda gave it such a magnificent effect on it that it's just mind-blowing. And then, for example, you apply it to a shooter game. Let's make a huge, wide open 10 square mile platform where you have no idea what's going on. And then, Shigeru Miyamoto could whisper in your ear, do you see that radio tower over there? You could climb it. Anyways, bad joke. No, I can't see it being the game of the year, even if it was amazing as it is. There's a hard cap on it with how generic it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if that was the case, did Counter-Strike become game of the year when it came out back in the day?
Not to my knowledge. Well, they didn't have Game Awards back when that goes out, I don't think, but yeah, not fair enough. Donnie, what are your thoughts? You've been quiet. Just nodding your head or shaking your head, depending on what we've been saying.
I mean, I don't know. I've never played PUBG. I'm going to play it this month, but I don't know. I've never played it. Yeah, I think it's weird in the situation because it is such a popular game. I've been hearing about it for so long. And, I remember when they showed it at E3 and I was like, am I supposed to believe this is a big deal? And this is a huge deal. You just don't know. It's a massive deal. So, so in that regard, I mean, I kind of agree with Kevin. I could totally see the Game Awards giving it an award because that's all the Game Awards is, this marketing hurrah. Yeah. They just make sure everybody gets an award at the Game Awards. If you're there, you're going to get something or you wouldn't be there. So if it's nominated, I guarantee you it gets something. Now, if it gets Game of the Year or not, I don't know. They might. I mean, I I don't like the show anyway, so because I feel like it's crazy to talk about it anyway. But so
I thought you were talking about us at first. Like I don't like
I was gonna say,
and then I was like, wait a
no,
minute.
I don't like the game awards show because it really just feels like more marketing and not really like a critical reception, right? Everybody gets a trophy over there. Everybody gets something. They always make sure that Nintendo, PlayStation, Microsoft, everybody gets something there. So that type of thing. What I was going to say was, like, is it still in early access on Steam?
Yeah.
Do you pay for it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
$30.
Pay for it. All right. So I would say though, at a baseline, if you're charging people for money, then I'm fine with your game being considered. If you're selling a product, then sure, it deserves to be reviewed and weighed on its merit as a product. And now, if they try to go, no, it doesn't, because this isn't, like if they go the opposite way and they go, you can't review our game because it's not done yet. Well, then you shouldn't charge for it yet. The moment I start paying for something, then I have the ability to have an opinion on it. So,
yeah. All right. So for the sake of time, we're going to go to the last question on here. As 2017 starts winding down, how will this year be remembered regarding video games? An amazing year of great titles, the tipping point to basically the point of rioting over loot boxes, games as a service becoming a more not reasonable thing, but a more real thing, shutting down of studios, Nintendo reclaiming its throne in video gaming. What do you guys think? That comes from Kyle, aka Cyclecross. Donnie, why don't you go first?
I think 2017 will go down as a year of great video games. I think a lot of times, like I've always brought up before, the second screen experience, smart glass, Project Milo and Kinect and motion controls, like we have fads, things come and go all the time. Everything was a fighter, then everything was a shooter, and everything was a platform. Now everything's a service game. Loot boxes, we'll see if any of that has any staying power. What I do know will have staying power are the countless and countless people that played Breath of the Wild, Mario Odyssey, and Horizon Zero Dawn, and Cuphead, and Edith Finch, and all of the games that came out this year that made this year an amazing year to play video games. Resident Evil 7. I mean, this year has given and given and given and given. Like, my cup overfloweth of video games to play. Like, there's just something for everyone, and there's multiple somethings for everyone. I honestly, I can't personally remember a time for me where I got to play so many great games in one year, personally for me. So,
I agree. Tyler?
I am going to say that 2017 is probably going to be the modern day version of 1998. Like, you guys know 1998, right, guys?
Well, I remember living in 1998, but I don't remember every game that came out in 1998 because I wasn't buying 50, 60 games in 1998. I had like two.
Fine. Fair enough. Sure. It's going to be one of those years where, like, man, 2017, that's when all those, it's pretty much what Donnie said.
Yeah.
I mean, 2018, maybe? I mean, do you remember anything in 2016 that just said, wow, video game year? Yeah.
Not that many. I mean, you're right.
Now.
I know, right? So forget at this point.
I mean, Donnie's going to have those names ingrained to his head, and I'm going to have the same thing plus Hellblade because it's a great game, and, you should play it. But, the moment you start naming off those games, you're going to think of one thing only, and that is a 4-digit number. 2017, baby. It was a great year for video gaming.
I agree. I'm on board here too. So yes, all the other things Kyle mentioned is going to be stuff that's going to be topics of conversation. But if you were to go 10 years down the line from now and say, what happened in gaming in 2017? Those conversations are going to be gone. And it's going to be all these amazing games came out. Maybe a little bit of, hey, this is when Nintendo turned it around for themselves again and got back as being a serious contender. But the games are going to be what it is. There's so much good stuff out there. I mean, and the stuff we're talking is just a fraction of what we wanted to play. If we had unlimited funds and say, okay, we can play any game we want, we would have played probably double and if not triple of what we actually did play this year. And I mean, for me, this might be a flagpole year of a year that I've played the most games in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nuts. And I think the games are what it's all about. I mean, it's what keeps us doing it anyway in the first place. But yeah, I think when people look back and say, okay, what happened in gaming in 2017? Some of those stuff might be footnotes, but it's going to be all about what games came out this year, I think, for sure.
I think in the Nintendo specific space, I think they'll be remembered more for the era and the product, the hardware, than they will be for a particular year. They haven't really reclaimed their position yet. They just had a good year. Like there's still a lot of okay, well let's put 1 year and let's put another good year in front of another good year. Let's do this for 2 or 3 years. How about we have a good generation? Not just a good year. Like there's still a lot of people that are like, I still don't know about that Switch yet. So I don't know.
All right.
That poor guy at the GameStop, man.
Exactly. I just had a quick thought on that PUBG thing.
Yeah.
If PUBG is in consideration for Game of the Year now, is it excluded from Game of the Year later when it actually comes out? Like,
that's a good point.
Is there
Are they
any
going to double dip?
critical reviews or anything? Can it win 2 in a row or something?
Well, I mean, I guess.
Do they have rules? Are there any rules to?
I don't think there's any rules. It's whatever they want to say.
There's so many
it really
rules.
is. Because
contact FCC.
Yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. But like, you're right though. Like to back up your point, it'd be like, okay, let's look at Destiny, the first Destiny when it launched, and Destiny a year in. They were very different games. So could you in fact say, okay, well now that they're done, is this a contender?
Could Mario Kart 8 Deluxe win racing again?
Exactly.
Just wins it again.
Exactly.
What's that? Can World of Warcraft win every other year with each expansion coming out?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's another point.
Maybe.
Who knows? But it's whatever the marketing team wants to do, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But all right, we're closing up the mailbag for this evening. We've gone a little bit over time there. But before we leave, before we send you off into that sweet, sweet Dark Knight, not Batman, not that Dark Knight, different one. Physical Knight, otherwise it'd be awkward. Tyler, where can people find you? Or what you're working on that you want to plug?
Sure, I'll plug this in. It's you can make sure the plug in the ground. Tyler, 2 times Tyler on Twitter. You can check out my work at twitch.tv/PSVG. That's where I'm playing Battle Chef Brigade, baby.
Yeah,
and,
but
if you can't see it live, you still want to check it out. I throw it up on youtube.com/play some video games, where we got all sorts of cool stuff. I know you guys have been representing. Good job with the work, by the way. I'm proud of you guys. You're doing great. Put in some hard work. Smiling and stuff.
Donnie, sir.
I am
something in my teeth.
I am playing Nintendo on Twitter. You can come chat at me. Follow all of my tweets today about my Buckeyes winning.
Oh, he threw it in at the end.
Cut it. Cut it short, just like the Michigan score.
It was such a good game, though.
Something.
Something. Yeah. You just find me on Twitter. I don't want to steal all your plugs, Kevin. So they can find me on Twitter at Play Nintendo.
Fair enough. You can find me at PSVG. Shout out to Nathan. Sorry, Nathan, we're not watching the YouTube chat, so we just got your message now, but we're running along, so we got to cut it short. So appreciate you for watching. But no, we were not monitoring the YouTube chat. That's only Donnie's job. He's slacking today. He's tired.
I'm tired.
He's tired. No other reason. He's tired. Website, playsomevideogames.com. YouTube.com/playsomevideogames. Facebook.com/playsomevideogames. All that fun stuff. Follow us at Twitter at PSVG. Email us podcast@playsomevideogames.com. I'm going to plug more Battle Chef Brigade stuff, so you can watch Tyler play it. But if you want to watch myself and a certified Battle Chef himself, the official chef of Play Some Video Games, Mr. Justin Warner, discuss Battle Chef Brigade and our thoughts, check out the video. It's on YouTube where you can download the podcast. It was out last week. Check it out. Do not sleep on Battle Chef Brigade. I cannot say enough. It was such a pleasant surprise, so go check it out.
Preach it, man.
Yes,
Make
absolutely. Absolutely. So, as we do each and every week, we'd like to remind you, boys and girls, to never stop gaming.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening to Play Some Video Games, the official podcast.